Hello student, welcome to my online lecture series of Basics of Automotive System. My name is Kalal from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. So in this lecture we will discuss about the automatic transmission system. Okay, whatever will I teach you, that is comes in your exam point of view, that is the automatic transmission system, which is part number 2. Okay, just you read this all the topics whichever I teach you. Okay, so in the transmission system mainly two or three topics are there. One which is the torque converter and another is a CVT system. Okay, so CVT system is it's a separate video lecture we will make. Okay, so after this video lecture I will meet a next lecture on the CVT. Okay, this is a different topic. So in that topic we will cover about the torque converter and overdrive system. Let's start. What is torque converter? Okay, internal combustion engine create a power by burning fuel that force the piston to turn a crankshaft located at the bottom of the engine. This rotational force is transferred to the transmission by the fluid pressure inside the torque converter. That means the working of the IC engine, we already know that the fuel is combustion inside the cylinder and the huge amount of pressure due to burning of the fuel which applied on the piston to turn a crankshaft located at the bottom of the engine, which is below the engine. So for the rotation, this rotation force is transferred to the transmission by the fluid pressure. Okay, so then this force which is transmitted to the fluid and this fluid pressure inside the torque converter. So torque converter is a device which is increase the torque of the vehicle with the help of the fluid pressure. Okay, inside the torque converter cover the lives or a series or propellers like a blade called a pump. So in torque converter the pump is there, impeller is there, or we can say impeller, or we can say turbine is there. This assembly spins in a unison with the engine crankshaft. Unison is in one direction with the help of engine crankshaft. That means this pump is connected to the engine crankshaft, forcing the transmission fluid onto another blade assembly called impeller. Okay, this second set of blade is connected to the transmission input shaft. Okay, transmission input shaft. The amount of hydraulic pressure that it creates inside the transmission dictates the gear. Ultimately the speed of the vehicle, that means speed of the vehicle will increase. The impeller's speed is regulated. That means the speed of the impeller which is regulated by the engine side of the hydrodynamic circuit is there. That is the speed of pump blade. When vehicle is stationary or the driver applies a brake, the impeller will slowly considerably while the pump continuously to spin or rotate. This allows the torque converter to act like a clutch in manual transmission system. It allowed the engine to continue running while the vehicle is at the complete stopping position. Next, when the transmission fluid has been hurled onto an impeller blade, it has to return the pump order to keep the cycle going. That means it again comes on the pump, and since the fluid is now flowing in the direction, then the pump, it has to reverse to the avoid of slowing down and stalling in the engine. To do this, the third fine wheel called a stator is located between the two turbines on the transmission pump shaft. Its blades are precisely angled so that when the transmission fluid hits them, it reverses direction and gets channeled back to the pump. When the vehicle stops, it built in a one-way clutch like a fluid coupling. Okay, this is known as a fluid coupling because it stops spinning, braking and hydrodynamic circuit. So let me understand what is torque converter and how it is work. This topic torque converter basically explained in the fluid mechanics subject. Okay, or is a device of fluid machines. Okay, in the torque converter. So these are the diagram of the torque converter. You already seen this in this slides. Okay. So this is the torque converter. Torque converter is nothing but this assembly of the pump, or we can say turbine or impeller. So this side is our impeller, or we can say this is drive shaft, and this side is the turbine. This blade is a turbine blade which is in green showing and which is connected to this plane. Okay, and this is the impellers, and impellers is connected to this engine and flywheel. So arrangement is like this. This color is connected, this impeller or we can say pump is connected to this engine shaft. Okay, which engine shaft, and turbine is connected to drive shaft or which is output. In both of the between the stator is used. The function of the stator is nothing but the fluids comes again from the turbine. It always high pressurized to transfer to this again on that impellers or on pumps. Okay, and first of all, that what happened, the fluid which comes from the pump, our pump is like we already know that the pump is increasing the pressure of the fluid with this pump is energy getting from that engine. Okay, or engine crankshaft is connected, so that why this huge amount of the energy is converted into pressure energy and it supplied to the on the turbine blade, and turbine blade which rotates. Okay, that the power is supplied, so torque is increases and again this fluid comes on the stator and the angle is such a way that it hits back to this impeller, so it increase and decrease the speed of the pump. Okay. So this is the working function of the torque converter. Again I repeat, here only three components are there mainly. This is the turbine, and in between them stator are used. If stator are not used, that means it becomes like a fluid coupling component, and transmission fluid in between. This is our transmission fluid. These are the drive shaft. This is the torque converter. So the component of the each component which is used in the torque converter is like this. Okay, this is our impeller or we can say pump. Okay, and it is connected to the input shaft or we can say turbine to the transmission drive hub. Okay, in between stators are used in that the vane or we can say blade is provided, steady blade is provided. Okay, the fluid comes firstly here from pump to turbine, and again turbine to comes in the stator, and in such a way that it can going to the again to the this pump. Okay, and turbine is connected with the clutch assembly is there, and the totally is covered with this front cover, and the power is supplied to the output shaft. Okay, so these are the torque converter component which is used. Torque converter is nothing but it is used to convert the high use amount of the torque. Okay, we obtain increasing torque we obtain from these torque converters. Okay, so these are the working of the torque converter. Advantages of the torque converter: it multiplies the torque by movement of oil. That means the fluid which move inside that torque converter with high speed or low speed, that means it multiplies the torque which getting from the engines. Okay, so torque is increases okay in multiples part. Okay, all parts are remain synced in the oil. That means all the part which is all the part which is used in the torque converter which is synced in the oil. Okay, and it transmits power without noise and shocks at different speed and different torque ratio. That means power is supplied without noise, no noise and shocks are there. Operation is completely automatic and reliable. That means the operation in the torque converter which is completely automatic and which is reliable for our vehicles. Okay, generally the servicing of the torque converter is not necessary. Sometimes on other torque converter or other devices servicing is there, but in torque converter no servicing is there. Construction of torque converter is simple. Wear is less due to less effect of slip. Next, disadvantages of torque converter. The torque available to start the vehicle from the rest in the first gear is reduced with the increasing the speed of the vehicle. This is the main disadvantages. Okay, again I repeat, the torque available to start the vehicle, whatever torque which available to start the vehicle from rest position to the first gear is reduced with the increasing the speed of the vehicle. It become fluid coupling on increasing the speed of the vehicle. Sometimes what happen, if your speed is increasing of the vehicle, that it becomes a fluid coupling, hence the torque multiplication stops thereafter. That means torque multiplication is not there if speed is more. There is a no torque multiplication in third and fourth gear. Okay, so torque is not multiplied in third and fourth gear. Okay, reverse gear arrangement of the mechanical type is to be used with it. Okay, to prevent torque converter from overrunning, a freewheel device is used. Okay, so that we can reduce the overrunning in the vehicles. Okay, so these are all are the disadvantages of the torque converter. Okay, so this is our one device, torque converter, in the automotive systems or automatic system or automatic transmission system. Okay, one system is completed, another is a overdrive, and last is a CVT, but we may separate video on the CVT, which are important. Overdrive is the device to set up our gear ratio in the car. Overdrive is nothing but the speed of the engine. The speed of the vehicle is more than the engine speed. That is known as overdrive. Overdrive is a device to set up the gear ratio in the car. It is fitted between. Most important is that it is fitted between transmission and the propeller shaft. It enables a high cruising speed, okay, to attain. That means cruise is like a cruise. The cruising speed is to be attained with a comparatively low engine speed, up to the 20 to 25% on long journey. Okay, this result in a less wear in the engine and decrease the vibration and noise. As the friction loss at lower speed is less, there is a saving of fuel also with the overdrive. That means the fuel is also saved in the overdrive systems. Overdrive is generally fitted on the top gear, okay, like a 5th gear and 6th gear is our overdrive gear. But in some sports car, overdrive are also fitted on the gears within the top gears, which increases the torque ratios available. For example, when overdrive is fitted on top, the 3rd and 2nd gear 7 forward speeds or torque ratios are available. Okay, these are the overdrive, which is mainly used in sports vehicles. The overdrive may be operated either manually or automatically at the predominated speed. Overdrive, one should know that overdrive is main meaning is that speed is increases and it is more than the engine speeds. Okay, that is overdrive. The gear ratio is less than 1, we can say, in that meshing of gear. This is the overdrive, the diagram of the overdrive system. Overdrive system is nothing but it's a construction of the epicyclic gear train, which we already studied in the theory of machining. What is this epicyclic gear train? One is the outer gear. In between the three planetary gears are there. Like let me make a diagrams of epicyclic gear. Suppose this is our planetary gear. In between 3 gears are there and one sun gear in between them. These are the sun gears. This one gear is a sun gear here, and this 2 planetary gear which is shown in this projection, this one is here and one is here, and it is ring and another is a ring gears. Okay, these are the ring gears. Okay, these are our ring gear, and this 2 planetary gear is connected with the carrier, or we can say arm. Okay, so it rotates with this, both are rotated in the same speeds. Okay, this is the planetary gears and this is the sun gear, and sun gear is connected to input shaft with the gearbox coming from the gearbox output shaft. After the gearbox, okay, this is the input shaft, and it is spline over in some of person spline is there, and free wheel clutch is provided here, and it is also connected with the ring gears, and this is our output shaft, and spline is provided to move axles. Again, that's why spline is provided, and it is connected to the carrier gear. So whenever it rotates, the sun gear is rotate and it transmits the power to this planetary gear, and this is our ring gears, or we can say annulars. So these are our epicyclic gear train, or we can say our overdrive gear train. It consists of an epicyclic gear train in which the sun gear is free to rotate on the input shaft, while the carriers can move on a spline on the input shaft. A free wheel clutch is also fitted on the input shaft spline, and the output shaft is connected to the ring gear. When the shunt gear is locked with the casing, that is, it becomes the stationary of the output shaft is increased, and that is overdrive engaged. So we get a overdrive engagement. Okay, when the sun gear is locked to carrier or the ring or to the ring, the solid drive through and is obtained. Thus, depending on the locking of the shunt gear with ring gear or with carrier, the overdrive or the normal direct drive is obtained. There is another possible control of the mechanism, that is when the sun wheel is kept free to rotate on the input shaft. In this case, there is a direct drive through the free wheel clutch when the engage develops the power. So these are the our main systems. If it is rotate engaged, because it is rigidly connected, and the power is transmitted to this planetary gear to this ring gears. When it's overdrive systems work like this. Okay. So advantages of the overdrive: when the car is moving ahead at a constant speed, then does not require more power to maintain that speed. Hence, to maintain the speed of the car, engine speed can be reduced using the overdrive. The parts of electric drive which is used in our vehicles. First of all, the source, okay, power modulation. And power source is like we can say battery systems or whatever the source of electric we use here, and it transferred to the power modulation, and this power modulation is transferred according to requirement to the motor and motor to load. Okay, and in between of what sensing unit is there and control unit, and this is also connected to the power modulation. These are all the parts which is used in the vehicle, and it is connected by the input command. So these are the electric vehicles and its major parts which is shown in this diagram. Basically, two types of EV: HEV, okay, hybrid electric vehicle, and another is EV, and PHEV is another type. But in that our topic, only EV vehicle is there. Nothing, EV is nothing but the electric vehicle. And what is the meaning of hybrid? Hybrid is nothing but we can use by gasoline fuel and electric vehicle. Whatever we requirement, we can change to drive our vehicle on the gases vehicle, or we can say gasoline fuel, or either by the electric vehicle. Your CNG vehicle is a hybrid vehicle. Whatever your requirement of you require that your vehicle will be move on with the help of CNG fuel, or you can also require that your vehicle will move on the petrol. That is depends on you. That is the hybrid vehicle. Okay, and electric. So in our topic, only electric vehicle are there and its major parts. Okay, not to going in the deep, only just in our syllabus like a brief knowledge about the electric vehicles. So these are the HV battery. Okay, high voltage battery is there, and it is connected with the chargers to charge our battery. This charger is provided. Okay, so by charger we charge our battery, and this is a control unit. We already discussed our total parts in our electric vehicle, and this control unit connect to electric motor. If electric motor is end, the remaining portion of our automobile vehicle, whatever we ever studied, and okay, all are the same. Okay, all are the same. So important component, HV, high voltage battery. This battery is transferred to power to electric motor with the controller unit, because this is a DC supply and this is a AC supply. But some vehicles electric motor may be AC and DC current type. Okay, but battery is a DC supply. Okay, so power is transferred to electric motor, and then propeller shaft and our differential mechanism and other things, other component are the same, only changing in IC engine. Okay, in that electric vehicle IC engine, okay, internal combustion engine, that is power source which are the absent in that vehicle. Only electric power is used. Okay, that is our electric vehicle. So what is the advantages of the electric drive? The electric drive are available in the wide range of torque, speed and power, and these are the construction of the electric vehicles. Okay, so we can make the diagram in the exam. Okay, the electric drive are available in the wide range of torque, speed and power. They are the adaptable to almost any operating conditions, such as explosive, radioactive environment, submerged in the liquid, vertical mounting and so on. The electric drive does not pollute the environment. That means emission is zero emission vehicle, or we can say zero emission, no carbon dioxides, no HC hydrocarbons is there, etc. Okay, it can operate in all four quadrant of the speed torque plane. So advantages of the electric drive: it can operate in all four quadrant of the speed torque plane. They can be started instantly and can immediately be fully loaded. Okay, that is the main benefits of electric drive. Okay, it is start immediately or instantly, whatever we requirement or whatever we want. Okay, and can immediately fully loaded. That is there is no need of refuel or warm up our motors. Okay, they have flexible control characteristic and can be employed to automatically control the drive. Okay, these all are the advantages of the electric drive. And another reason, they have flexible control characteristic can be employed to the automatic control drive. Because of the following advantages, the mechanical energy already available from the non-electric prime movers is Sometimes the first converted into electric energy by a generator and back to mechanical energy by electric motors. This is the main working of functions, how it energy converted and mechanical energy into the electrical energy, and electrical energy is back to the mechanical energy. The electrical link thus provide between the non-electrical prime movers and the load impact to the drive flexible control characteristic. So all are the advantages of the electric drive. So disadvantages of the, what are the disadvantages or limitation of the electric drive? The power failure completely disable the whole of the system. The application of the drive is limited because it cannot use in place where the power supply is not available. Okay, on this city area we can use, not in a rural areas because the power supply is not available. It can cause the noise pollutions. Noise is there. The initial cost of the system is very high. The most important is that the initial cost of the system is very high. Okay, the charging problem is main. Okay, in the electric vehicles. Okay, thank you so much. So we covered a torque converter, overdrive systems, and electric drive system. Only one system is left, that is the CVT system, and then our chapter will be fully complete. Thank you so much, all the students.